3. We're live, Mr. Wade. Uh, Good night, Belizeans at home and abroad. My name is Leonard Brackett. I will be your temporary chairman, hopefully until the chairman shows up, and then we'll just turn the show over to him, so we don't disturb his specific presentation. We have tonight with us Mr. Roody Wade, our next senior panelist, and he will grace us with a reading after I do a prayer. This is the Belizean Affairs Show number 331. 331.
Oh,
We're
wow.
getting there, Mr. Wade.
Getting low, yeah, we.
We're getting long in the truth.
Yeah, we up there. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
thank God. Thank God. I'm very happy and glad for the opportunity to sat on all these uh, shows with you on this particular platform and everything that we have advocated and the high ratings that we get and the percentage of response that we have had from those to whom we are attempting to speak, especially the leaders of our country, who every once in a while think that they deserve to run the country how they want rather than how they promised us they was going to run it and how we asked them to run it. But we will persist and we'll keep on, doing the best we can. And we hope that those who listen to our program tonight and thereafter at their own timing, would have something positive to gain from the show that we present tonight. So I'll just bow my head and ask the good Lord to bless us and continue to guide us. Divine loving Father, once again we come before thy presence. We pray that thou must continue to hear our humble supplications for mercies, for wisdom, for knowledge, understanding, and endurance, for perseverance, fortitude, so that we may be able to carry on this task to advocate on behalf of our people and country of Belize. We pray that thou must bless this program and that whatever we have to say may it accrue to some public positive benefits. We pray that thou mayest bless our country of Belize, its people and leadership, that thou mayest bless this country of the United States, its people and leadership as well, and that thou would bless the rest of humanity, especially those people who are in war zones, who are being hurt for no justifiable reasons sometimes. We pray that thou mayest bless those who have need of food and clothes and shelter and health as well. Please provide for them. And we pray that thou mayest continue to have mercy upon those who are in war zones and tornadoes and earthquakes and flooding and all manner of disasters, living Father. For we ask these mercies in Jesus' name. Amen. Are you,
Amen.
Mr.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's always a pleasure to sit in your company.
The pleasure and privilege is also
And
mine, sir.
thank
And I thank you for.
you too, sir. And like you said, Mr. Chairman, we await the the real chairman. You are the fake one tonight.
That one right.
Yes,
100% right.
so yeah, so hopefully, he's in the background. I'm Leonard trying
Not,
to
not
do
yet.
his.
Not yet, but
Oh, okay.
could be.
And thank you for that warm prayer. Like I always says, the country needs prayer and the world needs prayer because there's too many ills, too many. So, and the only one that can see us through is the Almighty.
Amen.
And like I always say, Leonard, tomorrow is promised to no one,
Very
no
true, sir.
one.
Very
And
true.
for those, Leonard, who did not make it today, may their souls rest in peace.
Amen.
And as we give thanks, Leonard, for this day, to a gratitude, our gratitude for being here, for being here.
Amen.
We give thanks and praise. Leonard, I got a reading. Someone sent me a reading from Ecclesiastes chapter 3, 10 to 20. And it reads, I have seen the business that God has given to the children of man to be busy with. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Also, he has put eternity into man's heart, yet, so that he cannot find out what God has done from the beginning to the end. I perceive that there is nothing better for them than to be joyful and to do good as long as they live. Also, that everyone should eat and drink and take pleasure in all his toil. This is God's gifts to man.
Amen.
I perceive that whatever God does endures forever. Nothing can be added to it, nothing nor nothing taken
Away
from it.
from it.
God has done it so that people fear before him. That which is already has been, that which is to be already has been, and God seeks what has been driven away. Moreover, I saw under the sun that in the place of justice, even there was wickedness, and in the place of righteousness, even there was wickedness. I said in my heart, God will judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time for every matter and for every work. I said in my heart, with regards to the children of man, that God is testing them, that they may see that they themselves are but beasts. For what happens to the children of man and what happens to the beast is the same. As one dies, so dies the other. They all have the same breath, and man has no advantage over the beast, for it all is vanity. All go to one place, all are from the dust, and to dust all return. Who knows whether the spirit of man goes upwards and the spirit of beast goes down into earth? So I saw that there is nothing better than that a man should rejoice in his work, for that is his lot. Who can bring him to see what will be after him? That's my reading from Ecclesiastes chapter 3, 1 to, sorry, 10 to 20. Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
back to you.
Uh, would you care to give us a little public notice? reminder. Uh, During the course of this week,
October.
oh, I noticed a lot of accidents again. So I mean, it's just getting crazier and crazier. And anyhow, I'll just defer. I yield back.
Thank you. My people, like Leonard just mentioned, these accidents are getting unbearable every day. Every day. Seems like there is a spell, there is a curse on the nation of Belize where these accidents are happening every day. And, we can say what are the causes and we can have our differences. But in reality, I think once you are behind a wheel, a driver's seat, it's your responsibility. Um, so, and society has its responsibility, and the government has its responsibility. So, be very mindful. And also, remember, June to November, we are in the hurricane season. Please take heed and do your preparation. Don't wait until last minute. And for the continuous gang killing, uh, for me, I had never seen so many killing, you know, as of lately. So sad, but yet no one has a solution. No one, or has the will to want to fix it. All band-aid fixes, and after that, you have grieving parents, grieving children, grieving family on a daily basis. But yet, the system beg to differ. They're doing a great job. So sad. We're living it. So, maybe one day things will change. And like I says, for me, it seems like there is a curse right now hovering over the nation of Belize. Because from our leaders, doesn't seem to want to take heed, doesn't seem to want to do right by the nation and people. It's all about evil, evilness. Once they get that position, all they think about is evil and not to do the right thing to better off the lives of the people and better off the nation. See the constant atrocities by the Guatemalan Navy, these
Mhm.
boats, gunboats, and yet you hear this fool. For me, I call him a damn fool, right? Oh yeah, well we'll meet. Beg to differ. Whoever think that I shouldn't be saying that, well, that's a matter for you, because I know better can be done. Oh yeah, well I'll meet with the Guatemalan foreign minister and will discuss protocol or about the things that is happening. How many damn protocols are you going to discuss? Is this the first time this thing is happening? No.
Dozens and dozens.
And you think will it put an end tomorrow, my people? Hell no. It's a repetitious every day is something new in this country. Just because we have leaders that don't give a damn and don't want to do the right thing. Because there's a right way and a wrong way. And there are protocols already in place how to deal with situation like this. But what are they waiting for? For a catastrophe? For Guatemala to just walk over and just throw a blanket over Belize? Throw a blanket and say, hey, I got you. Right? Instead of, you see, slowly they intruding and bravely, without no care in the world. They don't give a hoot about the BDF, about the other security forces. They could care less. So we see what they do. So all these things are unfolding right in front of our eyes. So, you know, sad situation. Maybe one day things will get better. And I see the chairman is has braced us already, and I gracefully pass it over to the chairman. Good night, Greg.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Mr.
you,
Leonard.
Mr.
Good
William.
night, Greg.
Good night to you both, gentlemen.
Good night,
Good
sir.
night to you, the people at home and abroad. Thanking you for tuning in to this, our 331st edition of Belizean Affairs. Mr. Wade, I was in the back and I heard your speech, and I want to take it farther than what you just said. For a long time since our first show on this media, I have been specifying and stating that we have governments past and present that cannot take care of internal policies or external policies. In fact, our present government wants to go to war with our gangbangers, but he cannot do the same with the Guatemalans who keep violating our territory. So, again, we are looking at double standards.
Amen.
But I want to say here tonight, because the government is bent on the 13th Amendment, I want to know if the government is going to make an amendment to, maybe a 14th one, for all these traffic accidents that are happening in the country. Because more people are dying from traffic accident than from the gangbangers who they want to make the 13th Amendment for. But I must also say, gentlemen and people at home and abroad, the interest of past and present government is one of personal interest, using their office for
Self-enrichment.
monetary gains.
Self-enrichment.
And let's go to the first video, gentlemen.
Valuable. And wherever you have it, there's another case right now in the Rio Bravo Conservation Management Area where they found 30 illegal logs.
Oh.
And they put it one side while they're investigating. They said we'll come back for it Monday. Monday, gone. Yeah, but this is every day.
All the time.
Right? This is every day. They did not want to name the gentleman in this, but I can. The forestry department did not want to give me the name, but the name of the person who showed the concession when the police went there is Jacob Wines, a Mennonite of Shipyard. Oh. I say this because those are undersized and unstamped. You can see him measuring it there. That's the chairman measuring it, right? And this is when they're footing it. My point is that Jacob Wines is the person who presented the concession. I assume he is also the person who called Josemai. And this is the difficulty I have. He called Josemai. That's fine. That's your constituent. That's good. Constituents make calls all the time. I'm not sure they're always answered, but this one was answered. And the people there said that first the conversation was in German. Josemai is so close to the Mennonites, I wouldn't be surprised if the man knows German by now. Only thing left for Josemai wear the suspenders and the hat.
Oh my God.
No, he the one with them. But that aside, he called his area rep. That's fine. What is unacceptable, and the minister accepts, he was with Karim Musa doing a tour of police facilities. You know that Karim is on Minister Musa is on a countrywide tour. The problem is that it's totally unacceptable for the minister, even if he's handed the phone for the Minister of Home Affairs, to talk to police officers on the ground. There's a dispute about what he said to those officers. The chairman says he told them to stand down. He says he did not. He told them that it's a civil matter for forestry. Let forestry make the determination. Sound advice. Great. It is not appropriate for the Minister of Home Affairs to call police officers of low rank on the ground. You are abusing your power, sir. That is an abuse. It is unacceptable. I would hope, I would wish that it were not permitted or that it were unlawful. But it is not acceptable. That is not how a country should be run. If you have a problem with them, you call the commissioner or you call the regional commander for Belize Rural. Do not talk to officers on the ground and humiliate them in the line of duty. That shows no respect for their professionalism in the conduct of their duties.
Yeah, and also the chairman and his role and responsibility, right? Because isn't like in his jurisdiction to be able to look as to what's happening within the
Of course.
parameters of his village.
Yes, absolutely. And the chairman was vigilantly looking out for his villagers, for his village resources.
Yeah.
Right?
You should.
Yeah, because, you know, he get matched down.
Yeah.
They have torn through that village, through that villages valuable, and wherever.
Now, gentlemen and people at home and abroad, I have sat here on this platform virtually, I think over 2 years since we have this show, and I have spoken about executive power. I want to go back to a similar situation where the now Prime Minister called a border patrol, just like what happened here. And you know what happened? I don't even have to say it. So this is nothing new. Executive power has been used all over Belize in different scenarios. And tonight we will show and tell again. Mr. Wade, I go to you first.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for highlighting that item. And you says perfectly in order that these things happen. And from the highest level. And who get these nice calls, you know, and get all these nice breaks and all these things that they are doing illegal, and they get away with it because they got a call from the prime minister and they got a call from this minister and that minister, and they say it's okay, let them proceed on to what they're doing. Now, like I say, watch the peoples that get penalized. Like, for instance, the little man bringing across on his 6-pack of beer. Mr. Chairman, and you know, I tried that scenario on Thursday. Me, Roody Wade, brought a 6-pack across from the western border from the free zone. And that was taken away from me. Mr. Wade, you cannot bring, and he this the custom and quote all the nice sections and the nice thing, and that you cannot do it, and it says read section 45 and this and that, and you will see what, and there is one of the things that you cannot bring, 6-pack. So I will confiscate this. I moved towards to take it away, to break it. He ran away from me. That happened on Thursday.
Got on, drink it.
I said, this is my property. I bought this. So it's okay if I can't bring it across. Well, let me abuse that. Let me break it because it's my money. Not the government money, nor your money that brought. Oh, no. You know what he told me? He says, Mr. Chairman says, well, you see that gate? Once you get in from. Now, how stupid. Once you get from past that gate and you hear it's the property of the custom. That's what he told me.
For them to go and drink, Mr.
So anyway,
no,
I said, you know what? I said what? I tell you what. Now how could I bring this 6-pack of beer across Oh, well, Mr. Wade, you got to go to the ministry and get a permit. And this, I say, yeah, can you,
No,
I tell you what,
no,
give
no.
me a receipt for my beer because I'm going to go try and get a permit to bring this 6 pack of beer, right? So please do not drink this beer, nor take it home, nor do nothing with it. Can I come back and get my same 6 pack of beer if I get this permit? He said yes.
No.
So we'll follow up this story, right? I said it's not about a damn $15 beer. No, I said, do you know about a thing that called discretion? No, well, we don't use, I say, we don't use. I said, well, when I was in the system, had used discretion a lot, right? Discretion. Say, in the custom department, we don't use discretion. And you know who was telling me these things? The boss at the Western, Mr. Milton. He's the boss for custom. He didn't tell me, right? But anyway, I get a receipt for my beer, so I will follow this thing up, right? So I could have called, who is my minister, the
Sabalona?
Banana guy, the guy from up in San Antonio there. So maybe I'll give him a call tomorrow.
He speak by him, Mr. Wade. You better be careful.
Right? So when I call him, I'll have my gun with me, right? Because he wouldn't try that with me. That spit would go right back in his mouth. But anyway, Mr. Chairman, I said I was going to talk about this but see, you brought it all up. You see who gets and one call to a minister and anything could happen. And the abuse of that police minister, if I was still in the system and you called me to stand down, you'd have to come and stand me down, right? I would have never obeyed your order, Mr. Kari Musa, right? I would have never have done that. I'd have carried out my duty and let the chip fall where it may, right?
There's what you call an illegal order, and you can't be exculpated.
So, Mr. Chairman, anyway, thank you for for me to bring that up. What actually in real time what happened to me. So I'll call Mr. Balona in the morning. I was kind of busy over the weekend and thing, but I'll call him in the morning and see if he could release that 6-pack of beer for me. Back to you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wade. I want to say this right here because of what you just said. I had said earlier that past and present government are failing us at internal policy and external policies. But what policies they are not failing at is self-enrichment and internal self-enrichment.
Mm-hmm.
And tonight I want to go to that. But before I do, I go to you, Mr. Brackett.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I will piggyback on what Mr. Wade just alluded to just now. And if I'm not mistaken, which I don't think I am, but I could be, there are rules at the Customs Department for Belizeans traveling outside of Belize, coming back on the airplanes, and have a certain limit that they can bring in duty-free or without declaring. That is to say, so long as they don't pay, I think it used to be either $200 or $300 or $500. I don't recall exactly the numbers. But you can bring in stuff from abroad so long as you're not doing a commercial venture. That is to say, bringing in stuff for commercial purposes. That is to go and sell and conduct a business. If you're bringing in something for your own personal use, you're entitled to a certain amount at the airport. And I'm certain that I also recall when I used to drive that there were rules similar to that at the border entry points for a lesser amount. That is that people could have go across a Chatomal, go across the Benke, I mean, no bank Melchor or any of the border crossings. Buy a little small purchase of whatever is it that they want to bring across, so long as it didn't exceed a certain amount. I don't know if it used to be $50 for the land borders or up to $100. But I don't know when the hell these people get to the point that they're gonna take away a 6-pack of beer or 6-pack of coke or any kind of those small commodities from people that are just bringing in for their own personal use, and that should not be able to come under the same rule of bringing in less than $50 border on the border or less than 200 in the airplane. So why the devils do those people have to behave like that and be so onerous? The reason why is that everything they collect at the border stays with them. They don't throw it in the trash can or dispose of it, and they won't have let you go on and dispose of it yourself. Like he tell you, which was a trick, once you come in across that gate and you're on our side, it doesn't belong to you if it's on customs, even though the ability to bring in a certain amount is there, as you call it, discretion. The point is that once you bring that stuff and then see it, then could declare you as being on custom stuff and try to take your thing, and because you might not be able to, it's all about chancing people. They don't do that to their ministers and to big people or friends of theirs. Their family members go across the border and they let their family members break those very same laws. They bring in more than the amount that they are allowed to bring in, and they exculpate them. In fact, I remember there were occasions when ministers were caught with contraband coming down the road, going to wherever they were going to go carry the contraband. And they were allowed to go and declare the stuff after the fact, instead of being arrested or being shot at and killed, like was done to that gentleman in the pickup truck by boaters there. Okay? So our country is being taken advantage of by scoundrels who are not abiding by the rules and not playing fair. What is it for somebody to go and buy 1 pound of flour, 1 pound of sugar, or whatever, when food sugar they get sent across there in truckloads, and then see when they allow it to happen? Okay? Right now, at the end of this sugar season, we're going to run out of sugar again and have the same problem like we had the last time. Then they're going to give concession to the sugar factory to bring in sugar from the other plants from abroad at a higher price. I have a lot more to say about that, Mr. Chairman, but I'll just leave it at that for right now. Oh, wait, before I stop. About the wood. Over and over, we have these people, like for example, the other day they gave a concession to cut logs in an area that they shouldn't have given concession to cut. They put
Family
it
of
on
Mr. Habet.
Yes.
Minister Habet family.
Okay. And all they're doing, they take those contracts or concessions and they pay a little and nothing for it. And they make hundreds and hundreds of thousands and sometimes multi-million dollars out of those things, because the trees are, when they take down the trees, then if you have, let's say, a 1 board foot, you have 1 million board foot of wood, and then pay maybe on 50 cents duty or tax or whatever concessionary, prices. It means that they are making millions on top of millions of dollars that is not going to the treasury. They're doing, some of them complain about what the British used to do when the British took out all the wood. They're exploiting and taking out everything that's left now. And when they go and take those things out, they clear cut the area, and then the Guatemalans then come in and they take the area and create farm out of it, cattle ranching. It's millions and hundreds of millions of dollars that is being bleed out of the country's coffers. And these guys pretend like they can, they could care less. The same Mennonites that did that thing in Bomba a few days ago, they won't be the same one to end up with a lumber. They're gonna swing some kind of deal and then wind up with that lumber. Okay, because they have connections and they've been providing political campaign funds for some of those same people. That's why I could call them by name, call them on the phone at their office or wherever they are, get them personally, even if they're not in their office. It's a damn racket that's going on. Then some of the people get mad when I say that there are a bunch of hyenas and vultures and vampires and kleptocrats. And when I use this term to describe their behavior, people say I'm overreacting. There we have it. The evidence is right there. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Brackett.
You're welcome, sir.
Gentlemen, let's go to the next tip. Since we are on the subject,
Looking out for his villagers, for his village resources,
Yeah.
right?
You should.
Yeah, because he get matched down.
Yeah.
They have torn through that village, through that village's natural area with reckless abandon.
And I know like made
And it's been going on since May.
And I know like made it ask for understanding long time, making the complaint.
It was reported long ago. There are screenshots that it was reported to the forestry hotline by Mr. Ephraim Leal. I'm saying there, listen, in a forestry, my brother, there are no good actors. Everybody just want tech. And some take money, some take lumber. There are no good actors. It's just a totally corrupt from head to toe. I mean, Woodmark, and I'm not saying this is a product of corruption, because you can't talk about Woodmark. Well, I will say that the forestry department gave them the license against the stated advice of the chief technical officer.
Yes.
That's okay.
Yes.
I understand they have a problem with the chief forest officer. The prime minister told me he has a problem. Okay, great. But explain to the people why you do it. Give a credible, coherent explanation, as credible and coherent as the technical report compiled by the chief forest officer. Great, he's wrong. Okay, well, show me a technical opinion that contradicts that. You can't just say, well, we decided to give it, and like, yo, have some respect for people. We have seen this technical report. We have seen the conservation groups who co-manage. Credible conservation groups speak out. We deserve more than 2 sentences of, yeah, we go ahead. But logging, there are no good actors. That is what I have found. It is, as it was in the colonial era, extractive, exploitative, and explicitly corrupt from what I have observed. That is my conclusion. So, we're at this situation now where they have these logs, the village wants them. That's not covered in law, but I'm sure a provision can be made. However, there are corrupt, or there are, let me be specific in my language, there are people stealing unlawfully, cutting trees all over this country. All over. It is a bonanza. Everybody, every conservation management group I talk to say, you know, they're in a park too. You know, they're in a park. It's a very organized operation, and we have to be careful because there are political operators who are working in concert with these loggers because there is money to be made. You see, we talk about these calls, right?
Yeah.
These direct calls. 2 weeks ago, thereabouts.
now there you go, people at home and abroad. So we know that it's happening all over. But what this has been saying to us, every time an incident like this happens, political figures
Are
and
involved
their families
in
are
cronies,
involved with it. And
directly
more
or
and
indirectly.
more will come out. This is a prime example of why past and present even though they say they would have done it, refuses to do UNCAC. I go to you, Mr. Wade.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I I'm lost, as to when I say lost, that what next? What next will we expect from these forest officers, the chief forest officer, because he's the one that signed, Mr. Sabito, Wilbur Sabito. He sent me a letter once, guys, Mr. Chairman and Leonard, saying that I was intruding in the reserve, the Coxcomb, the Manante Reserve, and I must cease and desist. Signed by, that letter was delivered to me by two forest officers, the messengers, a BDF, and a policeman, which, Mr. Chairman, they found nothing. I was doing nothing. So what happened now? I cannot visit my reserve. I cannot visit the jungle. Since it was geared up that I need to vacate the reserve, well, I cannot go in there and maybe hang a hammock or lay down and watch the birds or watch. Well, anyway, he sent me that letter, and he gave me an ultimatum. I think 30 days. That other measures, he will take other measures. I have the letter right now.
Intimidation.
Right? So, I say this to say that same area, I and few other individuals had made reports of illegal logging. Illegal logging. I, Roody Wade, had made reports, Belmopan, up here in the west, main offices to these chief forest officers away from Belmopan. Anything was done? Nothing. Why no? The individual that was taking out the illegal logging was a friend to everybody. This individual tells me that, you say, Mr. Wade, you don't know what you did. He say, at the end of the day, he say, the forest officer bring me the stamp, and he left it with me, and I could stamp anything I want stamped. That's what this individual told me, right? So I say this to say that you're right, Leonard, in terms of the corrupted system. But I mentioned that name particular, Mr. Wilbur
Sabito.
because I have the letter, sir, that I still have that letter that you sent me, and not only me, it was like 30 other Belizeans. 30 other burned Belizeans.
Because they want to, Mr. Wade, they want to know how a land so that they could sell it to Swara investors, okay? That was the gig.
That you, Mr. Sabito, asked me to vacate. And the retirees, born Belizean, that was just in that area. And you told me to deliver these letters, since you said that I was the head man in there, to these individuals. I did, Mr. Man. I also have mine too. But like I say, Mr. Sabito Chuarmin, I tell you, karma is real, right? So whatever you do here, you pay here. So all I'm saying is, Mr. Chairman, is that this, I can say personally, is the corrupted, well-oiled corruption happening in the forestry department. Well-oiled. From top to bottom. Okay? And Who want to hear it, hear it. Who want to close their ear, I could care less. I know what I'm talking about. Okay? And so sad, Mr. Chairman, when I wanted to shoot down a 50-acre land. I didn't owe the government anything. I paid my dues every year. I had also get a damn permit, right, to shoot this land down and shoot down these big sticks, these big logs in the land because I want to do some cultivation. It says that I have to get a permit for these logs, otherwise I cannot do nothing. But that's to show you, Mr. Chairman and Leonard, the people, the ones them at the end of the day, who they pressure, right? Once you're not a sweetie and call the minister and lick up to a PUP or lick up to a UDP, you better be very, very careful in the country of Belize. But now if you chummy now and every minute you end up licking up behind some kind of minister, area representative or a CEO or a head of department, once you licking up behind them, you're in good standing. And bring only 50 for them now and then, or give them only 300 or only 500 and thing, and you're good. That's what happened in the country of Belize. But the man that does not do that is in some serious trouble. You better go by the book. And they will check you item for item. And you have one item slippery, you get it. That's what happened. Is that fair? Is that justice? Is that the way it should happen? That is already showing you, Mr. Chairman, that there are people who are more superior, who are better than some. We are not one. Put it that way.
Animal Farm.
There you go. We are not one. Okay? So it's so sad to see, and Mr. Chairman, you're playing these things out, and so it's so sad to see how our regular Belizean just take these things lying down, right? Take it lying down like they're in a daze. And the area representative and the system keep doing it to us, giving us the bukut all the time, right? Only one set of people. And I could talk about the Mennonites. Give me 2 more minutes here, Mr. Chairman. They are the worst violators of our natural resources in the country of Belize. For the world to hear and for the public to hear, they are the worst violators, just like how the PUP and the UDP are the violators of our constitution. Worst violators, the Mennonites, are the worst violators of our natural resources, Mr. Chairman. They take up to the little sticks like this. Cut it down. Knock it down. That's what happened in our country. Who want to hear it, and who want to turn a deaf ear, go right ahead. I spewed it. Gross violators, the Mennonite community. Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Wade. But that is exactly why I said Belize was always built on abundance, and past and present government, while we had abundance, did not invest in the future of Belize. And what they did, they reaped and did not plant back. So where we are today, and it will continue to happen. Mr. Brackett.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. We have a problem also in the Chiquibuli area and other parts of our western border with Guatemalans. And just recently we had some breaking news about ancient stories that are still currently going on as of today's date. They've been happening. Why I say ancient stories is because it's been happening for so long, still going on today, and will probably continue to go on for many more decades to come, apparently, based on the trajectory that we have seen. They have these people come across the border, they cut the logs, the big ones, they mill some of them, and then take it over to their side. When the land is cleared, they come back and they plant corn and beans and squash and other stuff on the same very land that they just cleared off all the resource, including all the fauna and the birds and everything else that they can capture, and they take it over to their side. Then they bring their cattle over after they finish plant the area with corn and everything else. When the corn is cut and the beans are picked and the squash and pumpkins are picked, they bring their cattle by the hundreds, sometimes thousands, depending on the area or the specific part, because there's literally thousands of acres of lands that are now, if you take a drone and fly to the western part of Belize, which has been done by many other people, by the way. So what I'm talking about and saying, we have evidence to back it up. It's not just somebody sitting here where I am, spinning out something out in the back pocket that I have no knowledge about, because I could tell you of craziness going on in just about any and every department in the government of Belize, much of which I have investigated personally over the last few decades, and for which I have the documents available, which is why I can open a big mouth and talk about it, because it aggrieves me. And as much as I know the people that are involved will not do anything about it, I keep those records so that when I open my mouth, if and when they're ready for one to come for me, they can come for me and themselves as well. Because when they come for me, I want to carry some of them with me. I got the evidence, I got the skeletons, I know exactly what I'm talking about. But if they can be more aggrieved than me, just because I talk about it, then they are welcome to doing their next best or take their next best shot. But I'm tired of sitting by and watching our country being ripped off and raped by the very same people that we put in government to look after our interests, when in fact they're not looking after our interests, because they pay a few people when election day come around, only $50, only $100, and then think that they bought the election and therefore they own the damn country, or that they own the powers that is being acceded to them for governance of our affairs. When they become the government, they don't become the government of their own personal assets and family business. They become the government of Belize, of the people, of the country. In fact, they're not even the damn government. It's also a misnomer to classify them as the government. They're our government caretakers. Is the appropriate way of describing what they're supposed to be doing, taking care of our business. They run the whole shop like the shop belongs to them, and they are just basic employees in the shop. And they use, misuse, and abuse free property to their own heart content. And then they hide behind the prerogatives of ministerial portfolios. That is to say, like in the case of when Mr. In this last case, Bomba, where the Minister of Home Affairs will tell the police officer to stand down. Then they turn around and say, well, that's not what they have said. The gentleman was right there standing up listening to the conversation. But they didn't know that. That's why they come out and lie. And then they get caught in there lying in their own words. Somebody's getting a kickback. Those people keep doing that because they are allowed to do it and get away with it. It's an ongoing practice. They're not something when they just decide to try and luck, especially on that level.
Mr. Brackett,
Are you,
if
Mr.
I
Frank?
may, sir,
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
According to the gentleman and what was said, he told the police that it was a civil matter between the forestry department and whoever was cutting the logs. Now, I am saying this to say people at home and abroad. Is it safe to say that that part of government is working well under the separation of powers?
No.
So how can all other departments work in separation according to how it is set up for democracy? Because it's not making sense to me.
Me either.
We should have separation of powers. So if they are told to stand down, it's a civil matter and forestry will deal with it. Why does the executive has to get together with parliament to make laws? Why are separation of powers not working? Because something is wrong.
The big hustle.
And it's awfully wrong. Let's go to the next step.
Before you go there, Mr. Chairman, one other statement, please, if you allow me. When you look at this scenario that just got exposed recently, okay, it says that by the police officer, I mean by the police
Minister.
minister of police, Home Affairs, and I call his damn name because I love to call a name when they screw up to make them know that people they pay attention and see what they do. Mr. Kareem Musa, he should not have told his subordinate what he said to them. He should have directed his comment to the, if he had a problem or an issue, direct his comment to the police commissioner, and the police commissioner should have called the head of the police area, the police in that area, and demand that they pursue the process. The bottom line is what when he tell that to the police officer on the spot, that was just to give the Mennonites then a cover to remove the police officers then from the scene so that the Mennonites then could haul off the land and go about their business. And by the time that get looked at, then forest should have, give them a temporary permit or give them some kind of excuse, justification, or backdate some documents to show that they were actually in compliance. That's how some of these things happen. It's not the first, no, do I think it's going to be the last time? Okay? And it should not have happened like that. Those people should not have been able to move those logs from there. In fact, they should not have been able to move their truck from there until it was verified that they weren't doing some illegal activities, which they were because they were far out of the jurisdiction for which they had a permit.
Thank you, Mr. Brackett.
You're welcome, sir.
But I will come back to this civil matter because I want to show double standards. But I want to say this, and I must repeat it. We cannot put to rest the tankers that was coming across the border with gas. We cannot put to rest that they were given a permit. And I must call it out.
And the contraband cattle.
I am saying this, Mr. Brackett, because what I'm about to say after this tape, you will understand why.
In FWE Park, it's a very organized operation, and we have to be careful because there are political operators who are working in concert with these loggers because there is money to be made. You see, we talk about these calls, right?
Yeah.
These direct calls. 2 weeks ago, thereabouts, there was a shipment of cigarettes. Cigarettes, the enormity of the cigarette trade in Belize, we have no concept of. Massive amounts of cigarettes are imported from China. They go straight to the free zone. These are then smuggled across our borders. It's lawful because the cigarettes are legal in Belize. They are smuggled across the borders or shipped out legally in some cases, but the legality ends at our border.
Okay.
Because it is brought illegally into Mexico, into Guatemala, and eventually into Honduras. These cigarettes are bought by the cartels. The cartels control the trade in these cigarettes. Why? Because that is a way of laundering money. The entire criminal on the world has a problem with cash. This is global. You need to launder money. So, Belize is the Central American gateway for illegal cigarettes. Context. Specifics now. There are 2 containers of illegal cigarettes, legal in the country,
Legal.
but being moved across an illegal border crossing in the Toledo district, in a village that is a hot spot for all types of contraband. It is stopped by a joint patrol of police and BDF. These cigarettes are for a large importer, an Asian Chinese businessman who holds great sway from UDP to PUP. He's not a big man. Calls are made. And the police officers on the ground receive calls from higher ups. Let the thing through. Illegal border crossing. I understand it may not have had the proper exit certificate. Because remember, this is legal in Belize, right?
Yeah.
We all pretend that, well, it's a legal trade. It's illegal once you cross the border, but me don't know about that. That is the official position, PUDP. It has been for years. But I understand this one was lacking certain documents. Calls are made. And the Joint Patrol Team, which is doing its lawful work, is told, "Oh no, stand down. Let the man think through. This is not your business." The thing gone through the 2 containers.
Wow.
I am reliably informed that the police officer, because it's a joint patrol, BDF and police, because the calls came from the police, higher ups in the police, I am told that the police officer get transferred. No, you have to understand this system. Our country is built for corruption. Our country is built to facilitate illegal trade. Wow. Let the man think through and learn a lesson. Anyway, but we'll be reporting more on that. But yeah, these calls, man,
Now, gentlemen, I want to say this because this is how they tell on themselves. You get millions of dollars to fight the cartel up north, but you're not saying about this illegal cartel trade that is happening right here in your country with cigarettes crossing the border. So here we go. Double standards. You're saying one thing, but then you are doing something else. So you're making believe to the people that you're taking care of external problem and issues when in fact you are not. And you are involved even
Facilitate.
preventing our border patrol from doing their duty. I go to you, Mr. Wade.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You're so right on that. Yeah, you brought up, the way they do things. And again, Mr. Chairman, back to what I was saying, the who are the one that we get penalized. The little man, like for instance, my little 6-pack of beer that I was bringing, got taken away, 6-pack, right? Taken away. And I told this individual, I say, Mr. Man, it's so sad for you to behave in this way when every day, on a daily basis, I said, there is illegal containers going across the
Mm-hmm.
border with
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of illegal items in it.
Mm-hmm.
Say, well, he don't know about that. Well, I just to tell you, it's the news breaking sometimes, so how you don't know about it? And not too long ago, Mr. Chairman, even the FIU, the central bank guy had spoke about when they asked if there is any money trail. When they find this Boston Bowser, there's this big boat up there in the Honduras area there, full of cigarette coming from Belize.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? So how easily it's like all they say, Mr. Chairman, all the time, give Belizean a lead 2-3 days and everything go over like one lead breeze, and then we continue our modus operandi, right? And it's so sad. And like I say, most of us should know that big Asian person that is doing all these transactions in terms of where that in the cigarette business, right? So how come he's not been arrested? That's a question I ask, right?
So the right hand is taken care of,
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
while the left hand is invisible.
So my people, there you go. You see these cigarettes and all these illegal items coming over. They didn't just come here and fly by night and just drop in a Belize. No, it has been facilitated, right? But again, we see, the scenario plays out, and even the big drug planes that drops all these things, and then the little man that get caught in the area, and then they make an example of these little man, and it wasn't even these the guys were just doing a hunt that night, and they just happened to be in this area where this damn drug plane was hovering about and got and the amount of hanky panky that went on this, but you see they proved to the US, yeah, we caught 4 people, right? Although they have no damn evidence, going for 4 years now with these poor guys. No evidence whatsoever linked these guys to this. But you see, they already got all these damn money ready to fight the drug trade. And they could have never catch anyone. Everybody could remember, oh yeah, the plane landed, but no one was found in the area, and no drug was found in the area, and all they found was smoke.
So
But
force.
now, Mr. Chairman, they sent a big message. 4 man was caught in the mountain Panelists area where it is, right? Big flash news around the world and in the country. But so it's a damn shame, Mr. Chairman, that there is no evidence linking these individuals to that plane. The police had more evidence. They could have linked the police to that damn plane drop if they have done the right procedure and the right investigation. The policeman would have been linked. I'm not calling name, but the policeman would have been linked. And the authorities and the powers to be would have been linked if they did the right damn investigation. But who they hold, Mr. Chairman? So what happened if these people didn't have a little money to get high-powered attorney Dickie Bradley and all the other and high-powered turtle helping them out to set free for something that they knew nothing about? Oh, no, come on. So don't you, what in your rightful thinking, what do you think should happen to those crooks that put these innocent people in that vulnerable position and in that situation, have them link in that situation when they don't know what do you think should happen to those people that did that.
I
Back
would
to
hope,
you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Wade,
Thank you. Thank
I'd
you,
hope that
Mr.
karma
Wade.
visits them.
Why I'm saying this is because my people, I knew for a fact that these guys were innocent. I was supposed to go on that hunting trip that night. And I don't even smoke cigarette. I had never been involved in any kind of but I just so happened to didn't go on that night. Say, you know what? Spotlight, that's something I love. I love to shoot. And I missed that trip. So
Thank
why I
you.
told you that is because that was a hunting trip, and it hurts me to know that my friends that are get got bogged down in something that they know nothing about, and they lose all their livelihood
That
on
railroad,
attorney, sold all
railroad.
the little things they have to pay an attorney, right? So that's why I speak about it in such a passionate way, because I could have been right there along with them for something I knew nothing about, right? So I wouldn't have known anything about then if I would have, right? But
Thank you, Mr. Wade,
that's
Mr.
what
Brackett.
goes on in this country.
Mr. Brackett.
All I could say, sir, is that as far as I'm concerned, people get railroaded, not by accident, but deliberately so. And I wish that karma would visit some of them who do the railroading. Like Mr. Wade say, what you do here, you pay for here. So, that's my solace. I yield back, sir.
Thank you. Gentlemen and people at home and abroad, I have always on this platform speak about a discriminative government and double standards. Earlier, I was talking about how this logging incident was deemed a matter by the Minister of Police, that the Forest Department will take care of it as a civil matter. Now, I want to play
Bobo.
this tape to show you double standards when it comes to the Belizean people that are minorities and how they are treated.
Back in late July, Deputy Mayor Eliud Miller, through his attorney, wrote to Francisco Solanes informing him that he was trespassing. The letter claimed that Solanes had built a house on a parcel of land in Belama Phase 5 without permission and gave him just 14 days to pack up and leave. Fast forward to this week, a 2-day land clinic hosted by the Ministry of Natural Resources and the PUP Freetown office is shedding light on just how widespread squatting really is in the area. We visited the clinic and spoke with several residents, some who've been living on these lands for 5, even 10 years, only to find out they're occupying property that already has legal owners. Now they're facing the harsh reality that their homes may not be theirs after all.
I've been living in Belama Phase for more than, I would say, 10 years, since we used to cross there like in a Lone London Bridge. We used to haul our materials, the Lone London Bridge. When flood, hurricane come, yes, the houses that were there, obviously it come down, right? Because the foundation in our 100, that swamp, right? So as it come down, we would have built, and now since they push the street, now we could full our yard, our land, well the land even more better, right? So now it very unfair that so many people behind it, even I would say the Belizean as well. Well, how to say, they invest a lot.
So when I went in yesterday, and like actually I sneak in because they may take off my number. So I sneak in, and then when I went there, they said, "Miss, your lot is taken. Someone has already applied." Like I kind of got what she was saying that happened this year, and then I reapply from long time, and so how come they will tell me, oh, it's applied already? So Noren said, okay, we need to wait till the minister come and he will see what he will do with us.
Just before the pandemic around 2018, we started to build slowly because we can't build fast. It's my husband, me, and our 2 children. We are all Belizeans. One of the biggest challenges is when we went to ask for help, when there was a hurricane, and they've never given us any help. When it came, we lost everything we owned, and we had to figure it out ourselves. So when we went to go and apply for the land, why they're telling us that someone has already applied for it when the area is supposedly in process?
Freetown Area Rep Francis Fonseca says he's been working with residents since 2003 to ensure fairness. But with improved infrastructure in Belama Phase 5, more people are showing up to claim lands that are already being allocated. Fonseca says the Ministry of Natural Resources is stepping in to sort things out, though for squatters, the question now is, where will they go with their homes and families?
They want me to move. Most of them they want to make them move, right? How we are move for our house, how we could do that, and where we going that out.
Gentlemen and people at home and abroad, I stopped the tape there because I want to show you double standards. The word is squatting. You can be taken off the land with a court order and the police involved. How come a civil matter with the forestry involved with the loggers was not illegal logging, where they can be charged right away, ASAP, because they were not even in the area where they were supposed to be? Again, double standards. And I want to say this. If these people were back there, since when they had to use these little pontoon bridge, and they developed that land and built on it, how all of a sudden someone will come just recently, even though these people were trying to apply, and the person that just come that has ties with the government can get these land over these people who fill it. It don't make sense to me. So I go to you first to make it make sense, Mr. Wade.
Thank you,
Go
Mr.
ahead.
Chairman. You know, it's a shame to even for the world to see or for other people to see. It's a shame to even see that they would have people live in that kind of condition. That's number one, right? So the right thing that those PUP idiots should have done, or UDP idiots should have done, they wanted some votes. The right thing for them to have done was fill up these places and do proper infrastructure. Dog you to deal with. Man, have some sympathy. Their children, families, The right thing for you should have done was to done proper infrastructure. Not shouldn't even entertaining these people living in that kinds of condition. Hear the young lady talking about mud and water, land and bridge, which happens every day. These people have no shame. This PUP and UDP system, these suckers have no shame. The right thing for these suckers to do is you want to give away lots or use it for however political or whatever, do the right thing. Fill these swamps up, fill them up with backfill, fill them up. Then from there you do the right thing and do proper infrastructure, light, water, and measure the 50 by 100 that you're going to give away. But it's not even given, it's not because it's not even your damn land. Mr. Minister, Mr. PUP,
Mr. Wade,
doesn't even belongs to you.
Mr. Wade, it goes beyond what you are saying, sir. If you heard what these people say, and the land is not for them, I am quite sure that some of them are paying taxes. So how did they take part in an election? Because any ministers that they voted for had to know that that could not have been their permanent resident. So you had to know and went along with it. This is why the redistricting is so important, because government ministers misuses the law to help themselves win election, and then these people fell at the brunt of it as is right now and can't get any help. Mr. Brackett.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Part of my concern is that Belize City itself has 10 divisions. I would say 10, most of them micro divisions, by the way. And the city is being blocked in right now and cannot grow adequately to be able to expand the area in Belize City for the residents of Belize. For example, the homes that are having 2, 3, 4 families living together in one home or in one yard. So while they are giving 20,000, according to the last number that was put out there, 20,000 lots all over the country, most of which was given to newcomers. Why couldn't they allocate those lots that are available adjacent to Belize City so that the Belizean citizens, Belizeans who live in Belize City, could have an opportunity to get some land in the same area? Because they don't give them no land in any of the other districts. So that's why they are always left out. In fact, they're not allowed to participate. Why? Because if they get any lands, it is presumed that they're getting something for free, and therefore they are being given an opportunity to have one leg up. But no, the people come and go and live in these London Bridge areas. They survive that situation, they fill up the area, and now the minister will come and take away from them land within a squat pan, hope that they may get, and give it to the minister's cronies then, because that's really what happens. The who impressed on the minister to get the minister's attention and goodwill to make them get the curry, the favor, and get the land. The people who don't live on it are dispossessed of it because they didn't own it. And people who do not know to develop it, that the one will end up with it because they're, they're cronies or favored individuals of the different ministers. But they could have done that. Yeah. I can't, there's a call trying to come in and I can't take it. Yeah. But they could have done that, like I said, knowing that Belize City was limited with land. They could have reserved those areas to expand the city and allow some of the Belizeans living in the city to get them piece of land, because they get no piece of land no far up the road or no in another district. And that's part of the problem. Some people are favored and are succeeding at the expense of others. And that's unfair and untenable. Are you back, Mr. Chairman? Mr. Chairman? Are you back, sir?
Go ahead, Greg.
Thank you, Mr. Brackett. So, gentlemen and people at home and abroad, there is your double standard. There is a law for squatting. There is not a law for illegal logging, as we can see, because that is now called civil matter. What are double standards?
That was just thrown out there, Mr. Chairman, to distract and divert attention so that if they had taken that matter through the civil procedures, those last ones are going to be staying there on the site That was to give those people enough time to clear the logs off the site. That's what that was about. This was a strategic statement. But nobody, at least not all of us out here, are a bunch of idiots or fools. I yield back, sir.
No, thank you, Mr. Brackett. Before we close, I need to say this. Since 1981, and the British troops has returned to the UK, we have seen the encroachment of the Guatemalans on our territory. Again, they had another vessel in our waters. And I want to say this. All these issues has been caused by both past and present government who is spreading a narrative to the Belizean people that we are independent countries and the Queen will not come back and fight for us. I want to say this to all of you out there. If Belize was an independent country, how come we have a head of state? And I want you to know, a mother country cannot give another country its independence unless it have an army and a flotilla to defend itself. A prime example is Taiwan, that is protected by the United States. So people, stop listening to false narrative as you see the Queen head taking off the money. I want to also remind you, the Guatemalans would have never come into the Belizean water when the British was here. And even when they didn't have enough men, they had their battleship right outside the quay to attend to these matters. It's only when our political figures that becomes government wants to turn their back on the head of state, making believe to you, the people, talking about repatriation, and has nothing to back the country with. No agriculture, no gold to back the dollar, and wants to say the dollar is worthy because it's pegged 2-1 against the American dollar. A farce that they keep spreading. Mr. Wade, I go to you for a last speech and the closing, sir.
Thank you. I'll um quickly because yeah, I could say we are pretty much out of time. You said it right. In terms of the British when they were there, when they were here in the country of Belize, right? Because I could attest to that. We didn't have that kind of problem because I was part of the security forces at that time. That didn't happen, but it's so sad to see the daily occurrence now and the bastardization of our country, right? In totality, right? Internal and external, right? Bastardizing our country for whatever reason. Um, the the thing, what I would like to see is that these elected officials take a stand um, and have some backbone, have some guts, have some balls to stand up to Guatemala because they are the one that are intruding. But none of them has the balls nor the guts nor the backbone to stand up to Guatemala for righteous, for the wrongs that they are doing to us. For whatever reason, they're dormant in that. But it's so sad, Mr. Chairman, to see how they abuse our people, the nation, how they abuse us, right? And it seems that that's a norm. One government in, they do the same thing. The next one out, and the next one come in, they do the same thing to the Belizean people. So this is what we got. It's so sad. I just hope and pray, Mr. Chairman, that one day we'll have a new system, and then it will change, and all these people will be held accountable for the atrocities and the wrongs that they have done to the Belizean people, and they will return those who had stolen or those who have gotten anything illegal that they didn't get the right way. There will come a time that they will have to return all these things back. So so sad how they advantage our Belizean people and get away with it.
Thank you, Mr. Wade.
Mr.
Mr.
Chairman, thank
Brackett,
you.
2 minutes.
So thank you very much. I'll take that 2 minutes to give a quick historical context in regards to the last topic you brought up and what Mr. Wade just alluded to put it in a contextual format. To start with, too many Belizeans have been led astray with this false narrative that the British were Belize's former slave masters. Okay? Long before they brought anybody from Jamaica to come and help cut the wood, Belize used to be run by what is called, or used to be called, the Bay people. Those Bay people originally came out of buccaneers who used to supply the waters of the shoal waters of Belize that the big Spanish ships, they never had a chance to navigate. Even the British big ships, they never used to navigate there. Or any of the other countries, then big ships used to navigate there. Why? Because of the barrier reef. And they didn't have any knowledge or understanding about how to navigate the shoal waters beyond the inside of between the barrier reef and the mainland. So it was the people who used to cut the wood that went and brought people from Jamaica to help them do the wood cutting. And after a period of years, the British monarchy and the British Empire were the first ones then to stop using human beings as slaves or as people to do the hard work without pay. So they start paying everybody a fair salary to do the work. But it was the same Belize, what we call now Belize, the British Honduras colony, that asked the British to provide support from Jamaica to British Honduras, because they were having problems with the Mexicans, they were having problems with the Guatemalans, and they were having problems with the Honduranians. And I don't know how many Belizeans know that Ratan and Vanaka used to be occupied by the British as well, by the Belizean Bay people. They used to occupy part of Honduras. They used to occupy the islands then. They used to occupy Puerto Barrios, Livingston, PG, and the whole the rest of Belize. And it was those same British people that gave us our independence. They supported us from way back when we asked them for the help to keep these people from taking our country over, until the point where we were able to get them to give us our country, but with a measure of support still, because we have the treacherous Guatemalans them that were always coveting our country. So when these people are spreading this narrative that we have to hate the British because they were our colonial masters, we asked for them to come and support us and to turn the country into a colony for protectorate purposes. So they need to get off the messed up
mentality.
Yeah. And stop pretending that, well, okay, because the British, because we were a colony before we became independent. America was a colony before it became independent, and a colony that was under the jurisdiction of the French, the English, and other people. Okay, and most of the other countries in Central America, they were under other leadership before they gained their independence.
Canada too was under the British.
Exactly, and the French as well.
And they still hold the head of state.
So why should we?
Republic.
Right. So why should we in Belize, as a puny little country with 400,000 people, allow ourselves to be bamboozled by these jackals and fifth columnists that we have among us into believing that we can go out there with our independence, put that on the line as an independent, defenseless papa. First of all, we don't have the army to fight and protect ourselves from any of our neighbors, especially as regards to Guatemala, who have 18 million people, and we have less than 500,000. We will never be able to have an army to fight them.
The army is not to fight Guatemala, Leonard, and it's to fight the Belizean people.
Exactly. And then the last part, I'll finish right now, Mr. Chairman, if you allow me, please. I'll wrap it up. Then the last part is that we don't have an economy that it can afford us an army, even if we had the amount of people.
Brackett,
we don't have the economy.
I was about to say,
and the economy is being ripped off.
I was about to say, Mr. Brackett.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, Mr.
We are running to the OAS, and right now,
for what?
The Americans are putting big investment in Guatemala. I don't know if people know about that. Huge investment.
They're not paying attention. Sir. They're getting bamboozled. They're getting bamboozled. The very prime minister that we have is married to a Guatemalan. So our first leader is a Guatemalan. Okay? And Ms. Neda Garcia and the rest of her clan that are running our economy, running rough shadow on our economy. And the other rest are one of them that come from Lebanon. Okay? These guys are not interested in the running of our affairs or management of our country, other than to the extent that they can fleece it. That's why I call it the big reprieve. That's they're not interested in good governance. We have enough wealth in our country that if that wealth was to come through the proper process into our consolidated funds and into our treasury, Belize should be able to live a much higher standard of living than we are currently living. Just by the basis of the value of our money could improve if the resource coming to our treasury rather than into side pockets of government officials and others. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. That is why I say, people at home and abroad and gentlemen, there was only two men I respected and still respect that wanted Belizeans for Belizean and they did not see it for money in the pocket. That is Mr. Golson and Mr. Esquivel. Those two good men. I go to you for the closing, Mr. Wade.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's always a pleasure, and as always, you show and tell. Leonard, it's always a pleasure to sit in your company too, my brother, and hope that tonight's program, open the eyes of our people again, Mr. Chairman, and for those who will watch us a little later, thank you, for viewers and listeners, both at home and abroad. Thank you for supporting us, in viewing us, and in sharing our show. Thank you very much, and I say, hope that tonight's program shed a little bit more clarity of the kind of governing system and the way things are done in Belize. Little by little, I hope that you're seeing how things are done in Belize. Because on this program, Mr. Chairman, what we do, we show and tell from their very own lips. Thank you, sir, for hosting our 331. I miss numbers all the time,
We go too fast.
Thank you, dear Mr. Chairman, for hosting our 331 shows, Belizean Affairs shows tonight. Thank you.
Good night. With that said, we says good night to the people at home and abroad.
Okay, gentlemen, you ready? 1, 2, 3.